Hello everyone, welcome back to Cloud Pathshala. My name is Maninder Tawar. Today we will discuss about AWS EKS, that is Elastic Kubernetes Services. Now the question is, what is Kubernetes service and how it works? So Kubernetes is an open source system to deploy and manage our containerized applications. It allows users to create multiple replicas of their pods to deploy their application, which ensure if some pods goes down or if some worker node goes down, then there will be no impact on business. Your application will keep running with another available nodes. What is containerization? This is a bundle of your application code, files, and libraries. And Kubernetes containers are not restricted to any operating system. You can deploy your nodes with any operating system, or you can create a pool of mixed operating system to run your containerized applications. In this video, we will see how we can create a Kubernetes cluster, how to add worker nodes in this. So let's get started. So first of all, just open the AWS console and type Elastic Kubernetes Services. Click on that. First of all, we will create the cluster. That will be our Kubernetes cluster. Here we have to give the name. I'm giving CP plus. Now here you have to define cluster service role, and how you can create this role. You have to create this in IAM. Let me show you how you can create it. Go to IAM. So here on the left side you can see roles. Go into the roles. We'll see this role because I have already created this. This is AWS EKS cluster role. You can create it as a new role, and this policy should be the part of this role. Amazon EKS cluster policy. Okay, let's go back to the cluster and click on next. I'm not adding any tags. Here you have to define the VPC and the subnets which we have created in VPC. Now next is security group. So here you have to define you want to access your cluster publicly or private. I'm selecting as a public. These are for the logging purpose: API log, audit logs, authenticator logs, scheduler logs. So I'm not selecting anyone as of now. I'm keeping as it is. Let's go next. So these will be the parameters which will be created. Okay, this is for review only. You can review your configuration what you have given. Let's create. So this cluster creation will take some time. It will take max 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm stopping the recording. Okay, our cluster is ready. You can see the status is active. Now the next step, to create the compute nodes. And there are two options. You can create node group or you can create Fargate profile. So these are to host your pods or containerized application. So we'll create node group in this. Let's add a node group. Node group is nothing but we'll create a EC2 instance in this node group. And I'm giving the name as a worker node where our pod will be hosted. Again, we have to define the IAM role for this. I have already created the role, that is EKS node group policy. And these permissions should be attached with this role. It is required to communicate with cluster. Let's go back to our node group. I'm selecting this role. If you have any template, you can use the template to create the EC2 instance. If not, you can keep as it is. And I'm not giving any tag or any label for these parameters. Let's click on next. So these are the AMI types. There are many types you can use as per your requirement. You can see there are Amazon Linux, Windows, Bottle Rocket. You can select anyone to host your ports. By default, it is taking Linux. If you want to go with Windows, you can select Windows. Let's select Windows. This is the size. It's by default taking disk size. You can increase as per your requirement. This is the node group scaling configuration. What is the desired size? What minimum size is required? What are the maximum size for your nodes? So I'm giving maximum as 3, minimum 2, desired 2. Here is the configuration, how you can define how you want to scale up on the basis of number, on the basis of percentage. I'm keeping it on number, and I'm going with the default value, which is 1. These are the subnets. Is auto taking from the VPC. I'm just selecting configure remote access, so we can access our EC2 instances. We have to define the EC2 key pair here. Now below we can see we have to select security group. If you go with the right option, that is all, so it will create a new group, that there will be no restriction, it will allow all source IPs. But I'll go with the existing security group, where I have defined some limited IPs as a source IPs. Okay, so I'm selecting the default one which I have created. Let's go to next. So this is to review what you have given as a part of your configuration of your nodes. Let's create. Again, it will take some time. It will take up to 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm stopping the recording. Okay, let's refresh it. Okay, it has been created. It took totally 12 minutes. Now we can see the nodes. We have selected desired capacity 2. So our two worker nodes are ready, where we can deploy our ports, where we can deploy our containerized applications. You can monitor it. You can monitor the capacity, ports, and conditions which we have defined. You can access your nodes because these are your EC2 instances. Let's see how you can access it. Let's go to the instances. So these are two instances which we are using as a node of our cluster. These are the public IPs of our EC2 instances. You can access your instances same way like we access our EC2 instances. You can get the password using your key pair file and can take the RDP. That's all for today's video. We'll connect in next video with some new interesting topic. Thank you guys.